Everybody, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. I'm guessing you can tell by the title that this is the story about how I almost drowned twice in the ocean in the South Coast. Let's get into it. Basically, my mom at the time was a waitress, right? And what that entails is that when you're a waitress by the ocean, the restaurant that she was working for at the time, I'm not going to name any names, so let's just call it the restaurant. I know, amazing. It was right by the ocean and like right next to the beach, like literally like 15 meters, and you walk down onto the sand. And so obviously I'm on holiday, my mom's working, and so I'm there for the beach, you know. My mom sends me off like, here, you know, put on your swimming trunks and just go and have a bowl. I was like, okay, sick. This is very busy because holiday times, the restaurant's very busy and also it's right by the beach, so there's a lot of people there at the beach, right? And so I dip my little toesies into the ocean and I start swimming, right? And I am like unsupervised. My mom is too busy in the restaurant to like watch me, so I'm just this unsupervised child in the big wide ocean. And there's kind of a point where, you know, there's like a lot of people, and then there's a point where people just don't cross because it becomes like a challenge to like swim through the waves, and like, you know, you can't touch the floor, so it's like you constantly keep using, you know what I mean? There's a point that people just don't cross because it's just not fun anymore. And there were obviously some mad lads who were going further and then coming back and then surfing and, you know, so forth. I was very, I wanted to say the word, I wanted to explore. And so basically, I was swimming, and I was like, you know what? I could do this. I'm strong. I'm a good swimmer. There are rocks to the right side of where you would swim. So where the rocks are, the water kind of pulls it back and then comes splashing back like onto the shore, right? And so I was very like wary of getting too close to the rocks, but at the same time I was like I was really close to them because I was on the right side of the actual beach. This is very close to Uvango, by the way, if y'all have ever been there. And so basically, I'm like getting more confident, slowly making my way deeper into the ocean, further from the shore. And at some point I realized, whoa, I'm really far out, like a bit too far out, like than I'm comfortable with. Mind you, my mother is in the restaurant, has no idea what's going on right now. And basically, like, it was just very scary because I ended up getting sucked into the ocean, and I was like, I don't even know how far from land. Like, I could still see people, but I don't know how far. I was just very far off the shore. And I remember, like, the people getting smaller and smaller. I was like, oh, gosh. I'd also like to preface, I've never told my mother this story before, so this might be a bit of a scare for her. Basically, as I was swimming, and then, yeah, I'm in the ocean now, and I can feel the currents pulling me in, like, several different directions, right? And so I try my best. I think I was, like, what? Maybe 12, 13 at the time. I try my best to get back to shore, and like I was hyperventilating. My shoulders and arms were very tired, but like it was just. I also have a very not irrational, but I've got like a fear of the ocean because I don't like being in water, looking up, and it's just blue. Like I've discussed this with my friend Mika before. Like that sensation of like hopelessness and liminal space is so scary because it's like you just see blue, and if a shark came up to you, you wouldn't be able to see it until it was like 10 meters away, which by that point you can't swim away from a shark. A shark is getting you, you're dead. Yeah, basically that was just kind of my whole thing. And so I was incredibly on edge. I was trying my hardest to swim back to shore, and because I came out and then I went all the way around, and now I was on facing the ocean. I was on the left side of it, right? And on the left side there's rocks, even more rocks than on the right side, as you could see where this is going, and more rocks meaning a lot more debris in the ocean. And so as I was getting, like, I was lost in the ocean, by the way. Like, I was totally 100% sure I was gonna die. Like, I was genuinely so scared I was gonna die, man. And as I was swimming back, I felt something touch my leg, and that immediately helped me get my strength back up. Like, you know, imagine there's a shark behind you. I thought there was a shark behind me. It was a piece of coral when I looked back, but it still scared the cuck out of me because I was scared of coral for some reason. But yeah, man, that was like the first one. The second one is a lot more traumatizing because like this one was just, I had to use, I think I was very scared, obviously, but I definitely made it. And, like, the tides pulled me out, but I pulled myself back in real quick. And after I kind of hopped onto the ocean, onto the sand, I obviously like immediately went to my mother, and I was just like, yeah, I'm okay. And I sat down at the restaurant, I think, and like had a milkshake or something. Um, but yeah, that restaurant was awesome. Recommend, go to South Coast sometime. The second time when I was, if you remember from my last Q&A video, there's this guy called James that I talk about. He's in the story. So let's backtrack. Me, James, and James's brother's girlfriend. We're gonna call James's brother's girlfriend Tyler. Tyler, she was really good friends with James, right? And so James, me, and Tyler were like, hey, we usually do this. Let's go out to the ocean. Because we just love the water so much. Because, like, I think the first time we ever, all three of us hanged out, we were like a little trio, by the way. Like, the first time we, as a trio, hung out was like, we were all swimming in the ocean. And we just and it was just really fun at that time, right? And so, fast forward, we're currently walking down, and where the ocean is, right? So, there's obviously this vast distance of sand. So, like, picture there's this, like, vast distance of sand. And then, like, on the right side of it, there's this little pool area with like a bunch of little rocks and stuff, and some parts there's such a big gap between the rocks that ponds form, and that's where we were. So this is still on the shore, but water would pool in, and so it would be like a little pond. And we hung out there for like, I think, 2 hours, an hour and a half, and there's this little section in betwixt the rocks, right? And it's about almost enough to fit 3 people. And so obviously the pond is bigger than the pond is bigger than the actual exit place and entrance where the water sloshes in and out. And we were getting dangerously close to that, right? But we were being acutely aware and holding on to, like, the barnacles and stuff that was on the rocks, and would swim ourselves back onto, like, the sand. We were testing to see how close we would get to, like, the actual, the ocean where it would get pulled out. And the issue was that where there was sand, where we would walk on, it would go up to about, like, my neck, and then, like, James's chest, I think, because he was taller. And where it kind of stopped being the pond, it just cut off. Like, it was just water. It was a lot deeper when at the cutoff zone, so I could stand on my feet, and it would be, like, 15 centimeters above my head of just water. Fast forward, James and Tyler were all kind of clinging onto the rocks, and all of a sudden, there's like a little time limit on how quickly the water pulls back, how quickly the tides pull back the water from the pond. And that kind of lasted a bit too long, and I was like, oh, wait. Like, there was a split-second moment where I was like, hold on, like, am I actually getting, like, pulled in? Like, I can't keep my grip anymore. I'm getting pulled in. That was my exact thought process when that whole thing kind of happened, right? And so, like, as I was getting, pulled in, I was like, oh my gosh, my life was like, whoa, I'm in danger. Like, my life is on the line right now. I need to, like, do something. And all of a sudden, I see James try to catch me, and then following along with me, he gets sucked in. And then Tyler as well does the same thing that James does, and we all get sucked into the ocean, right? And what happens is all three of us kind of spin and go, like, we turn left. So I realized a lot sooner. So I started swimming as I was getting pulled in, but they didn't. And Tyler is a bigger person, right? So Tyler, being a bigger person, gets pulled in a lot easier. And James, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I don't know. Just to me, it makes sense. But James didn't for some reason, because he could swim and is like more built for swimming. A much more slimmer build. And what happened was I was swimming, and I got pulled in a little bit. But they got pulled in like almost beyond like the deep end. Like they got pulled. There was the deep end, and then there was like the ocean with rocks and like stones and stuff. They got pulled in there. And what ended up happening was... Okay. What ended up happening was basically, I got pulled in, and then I was swimming, and just as I saw them getting farther and farther away, the tides changed and it started pushing us, and I took this moment, I grasped this moment, and what I did is I swam with the current and I pushed myself off. I like bumped into a rock and I think I like cut my toe or something. I remember my toe was very red. There wasn't blood, but it cut a layer of skin. And I kind of pushed myself off of this like barnacle edge of a stone. Keep in mind, adrenaline is pouring through my brain right now, and all I can think about is not dying. Basically, I pushed myself through this opening, and I just kind of blobfished my way onto land. Thank God I'm not dead. You know what I mean? Like, so that was basically that, and obviously they started swimming in. What ended up happening is that James pulled in Tyler, and James was like swimming, and Tyler was trying to help James to pull her. And I tried to kind of like scoot my way into the ocean, the little pond area again, to try and pull them out. And we all kind of sat on the sand for a bit, and we just left the beach. I think we were all just so... Adrenaline takes a lot... Like, adrenaline fatigue is a real thing, guys. Like, it took a lot out of me being scared, you know? Like, it takes a lot of energy being scared and fearful and, like, hoping you're not gonna die. I only realized that then. And so we kind of walked away from the beach, just sat on the grass outside of the beach entrance or like enter zone, and we literally just sat there for 3 hours just discussing what had happened. Like, we all thought we were going to lose each other. I told, like, you know, Tyler and James, like, dude, I thought you were going to die. I was legit thought you were going to swim and die. And then he was like, nah, man, you know, James, he was like, nah, man, well, I saw that you managed to get yourself out, and that helped me to, like, stay calm. And, you know, I tried to help Tyler, and we were like, oh, okay, cool. And we all hugged and, like, you know, made up about it. But, yeah, man, it's, like, one of the scariest, like, you know, feelings ever, that sensation of hopelessness, again, the ocean. Safe to say, I have never been back to that beach for the purpose of swimming again. But other beaches, yes, but just not that one. Mainly because I haven't gone to that beach, not because I'm scared of it. If I were to go to that beach, though, I would probably a little bit like, I would dip my toesies in, you know what I mean? Not go too far out, but I've been in the ocean since then, and yeah. We kind of all hugged each other about it. When we were on the grass, we saw a snake climb down the pole, and we all liked animals, so that was pretty cool. We walked home and kind of just discussed and debriefed a little bit as well with the adults, because, like, my grand aunt's husband, I told him, like, you know, I had just been through a lot, we almost died, I want to go chill a little bit, and he was like, oh, that's horrible, I'm so sorry, like, you know, if you need anything, like, if you want water or something, we can order something, like, you know. It's like, no, I'm fine, dude. I didn't say dude. I'm fine. Thank you. I appreciate the offer. But yeah, that's going to be the video. That was the 2 times that I've almost died. I'm sure there are other times that I probably can't think of right now, but those are just 2 interesting stories I would thought would be, you know, cool or interesting. Yeah. Comment your favorite part about me almost dying. Yeah, and if you guys want more story times or like videos like this, let me know in the comments or DM me on Instagram. Send a little hey man, video is cool, or hey man, the videos suck, never make that again. Just kidding. Love you guys, bye bye. I'll see you in the next video. One more last thing before I say goodbye.